What's up, everybody? All right, cool. So I am super excited today because I'm joined with Joe from Intaker, and I met Joe at Ben Glass's event a couple weeks ago. It was the Great Legal Marketing event, and Joe gave me a demo of Intaker. And I don't know if you guys are using Intaker or not, but Intaker is absolutely amazing. It's this really cool way that you can use AI on your website. So Joe and I started talking, and we were kind of like, well, maybe we should go and share some AI tips with everybody, because Joe was telling me about all these really cool AI tools that he uses, and I was telling Joe about all these cool AI tools that he didn't know about. And I was like, this is really cool. And this would be an awesome way for us to create some content and provide some value. So Joe, thank you so much for hanging out today. I'm really excited to hear about some of these AI tools that you're going to be sharing. I know I've got a list of AI tools that I'm going to be sharing, and these are tools that are not ChatGPT, which is really exciting because let me know in the chat. Give me some me's in the chat. Are you guys using ChatGPT or any other sort of artificial intelligence in your law firms? Give me a me or a yes or anything like that in the chat if you're currently using these tools. It's like Douglas is, Godfrey is, Matt is, Eric is, Patrice is. Okay, awesome. So AI is it's kind of like the big buzzword right now, and I think everybody's worried, like, is AI going to kill the legal industry? And I think that what's interesting is that AI right now, I don't think is actually going to take over the legal industry. But I think that what's going to happen is the law firms that use AI, that utilize these tools, are going to take over the legal industry. I think that the law firms that use AI, they're going to be able to supercharge themselves, and it's going to put you at a major advantage. So I want to congratulate you for being in the right place at the right time, for coming to events like this where you can actually better yourself and learn how you can get the edge over all the other competitors in your market. So Joe, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I feel like I've been talking too much already. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. And I'm excited. Let's dive into some AI stuff.
What's up, everybody? Thank you, Andy, Emily, and the whole SMB team. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for the current revolution that we're going through. As a tech company, we were here before ChatGPT. It really changed the game, not just for our clients, but for us as a company. And it did open the doors, to see how can we take our product and push it even further using AI the way that some of you are using it, and in completely new ways that we're going to talk a little bit about today. So, Andy, you said something a minute ago, which is, why does this matter? I know there's shiny object syndrome. I know we can all, be off to like maybe the next thing and ChatGPT now, and then this other AI tool later. But, before we get too lost in that, I want to just quote my hero, Tony Robbins. I was just with him this weekend, but he says, reasons come first and answers come second. And before we get too into the AI tools, I just want to echo what Andy said. What's the reason for coming here? What's the reason for learning about this and for seeing how you can, not just learn a couple of things, but actually take some of these tools and really use them to multiply the results that you're getting from, the time that you're spending in, working in your firm and helping your admins and your operations folks, start to really leverage these tools. It's more than just, a small change. It's something that's going to help you stay ahead of your competition, because you might know someone in your field who doesn't move quick, who poo-poos technology, who likes doing things the way that they're really great at, that they have experience. And that's fine for them if they're going to retire in the next couple of years. But if they plan, or if you plan to, really be here for the long haul and to grow your company, like I know if you were not planning to do that, you wouldn't be here. You need to start taking some of these things seriously. The good news is it's easier than ever to learn this technology, start to apply it. You've got guys like Andy. You now have folks like me in your network. I'm happy to go deeper into any of these things. We're just going to have time to kind of, graze the surface on some of this stuff. But we've got a few products lined up, one of which is Intaker. I'm going to jump into that and start sharing a little bit in just a moment. But there's all different tools, not just for your intake, not just for your marketing, but if you're running meetings, if you are even going to be talking to, potential referral partners, other attorneys, or high value clients, what can you do using AI to get a head start in understanding maybe some of those psychographic elements as well? So I guess with that being said, what do you think, Andy?
Hey, Joe, real quick, before you dive in, I want to remind everybody, because I forgot to do this. If you want the cheat sheets and the notes from everything that we're going to be talking about, well, actually, let me know in the chat. Do you guys want us to send you the notes from everything that we talk about today and the cheat sheets? Give me a yes or no in the chat. All right, cool. So our team's going to drop a link. And if you're watching the replay of this later, there's going to be a link in the description where you can enter information, and we'll actually send you the notes. And of course, we're going to use AI to create those notes, and then we'll send them to you so you have perfect notes of everything that we talk about so you can implement all this stuff for yourself. All right, take it away, Joe.
Love it. Love it. All right, cool. So let me do this. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do a quick little run through. I guess the first tool that I want to show off is unabashedly is my own, is Intaker. Andy, let me know when you can see the screen.
Yep, we can see it.
Cool. All right, good. So Intaker Chat, if you guys are not too familiar with it, this is like almost the same shirt I'm wearing in the video. But you can use it on your website, capture, pre-qualify leads, get them, essentially more conversions on your website. Some of you have seen this, some of you have not. The exciting part of this is now taking the information that when leads come into your website, you can pre-qualify them, but also structure that information, format it, put it in the right place, and then very soon trigger more actions based on criteria that is met. So without getting too complicated, because I don't want to lose people before I begin, I'm going to run through this, just a quick 30-second demo of this chat tool. From that point, I'm going to show you on the back end what happens with a lot of this information and how you can actually use your chat to supercharge other parts of your intake process. Once leads come in, saving a lot of work, reducing opportunities for manual user error and data entry, things like that. So if you haven't seen this, the video is a great way to kind of show your personality, get people engaged. I'm going to skip the video just in the interest of time and the fact that if you want to see the whole kit and caboodle, you come talk to me. I'll show you the whole thing, right? I'll say, for example, I'm going to do this for like a personal injury, and some of the other tools I'll go through later are for people that are maybe not a personal injury firm, but I'm just going to focus on this right now, right? I'll say here that, this is someone, they were in a car accident, they were hurt, they need help, right? For the name, I'm just going to say, we are Justin Bieber in this case. I'll give my phone number here if we want to, anyone wants to call me later. And so, a lot of this info, you'll see we're capturing it. And, later we'll be able to do some cool stuff with it. Now, by the way, I guess when we talk about AI tools, there's a qualification that I'm kind of going through here. I'm sorry, I got to move my screen a little bit. I'll say this lead came in even, today. I'll say that, we did suffer injuries. And I'm going to assign that, hey, this is specific keywords like head and brain, right? And so I'll say that that is a pretty, potentially high value case. So at the same time here, capturing information like what kind of care they received is helpful as well. We're going to do something with that. And then let me go ahead and see if I can move this to this chat to a phone call as well.
And AI is running all the way in the back to make all this work, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's right. And so, for example, where this is a whole automated process to pre-qualify your leads, and you can set this up however you want. For personal injury firm, statute of limitations, severity of injuries, if they're working with another attorney as well, any of those questions that are going to help you or your intake staff quickly determine good opportunity, maybe not so great opportunity, kind of depending on what that looks like. So, we capture those leads on your website, can automate next steps of texts and emails and follow-ups and other stuff like that. I'm not going to talk too much about that right now. And, just like you use video at the beginning, you can come back at the end, create more of that, whole experience for folks. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Now that we have that lead captured, we should be able to see about this Justin Bieber fellow, some pretty interesting pieces of information, right? So this is what I want to show off, Let me minimize that. This is the chat as it came in. We answered several questions. We found out things like when the accident happened, severity of injuries, did they get medical care? Are they working with another attorney? You know, a lot of the things, and we're not checking off every box. Sometimes it's hard to establish, hey, did you cause the accident to the other person? You know, sometimes you might not get that on an initial chat intake, but many of those boxes that you want to check before maybe sending out a retainer or deciding if this is someone that you want to work with, we can go ahead and do that here. So here's what I want to show off, right? AI is now able to go through that transcript, and you can decide what are those parameters that are most important to you, such as, do they have an existing attorney-client relationship with another attorney, right? We captured that. Knowing that if they said a word like head or brain when we talked about injuries, would automatically put you that this is a high value case. And, you know, knowing the date of the incident within the statute of limitations. For a car accident case, there might be a couple more data points. If this is something more, you know, nuanced, like a medical malpractice case, these would be different. The nice part is everything that I'm showing you here, it's customizable, but you can just tell the AI what's a good lead and what's not a good lead, and it'll sort it out for you. The really cool part is now being able to automate next steps, such as calling the managing partner of a firm based on if this is a good qualified lead or not, right? So you see there's a live call connect here. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it is a way to take phone call, web chats and turn them into phone calls. But you can imagine if it's a great lead, checks all the boxes, call the managing partner right away to let them know while this person is still on your website before they have a chance to talk to any competitor, anything like that. That's kind of, you know, where we're taking the product and we're adding more awesome tools in that line. So if you are an Intaker user already and you want to learn more how you can start using this, make sure to reach out afterwards. If you're not, well, we'll have some calls to action for you at the end.
That's
So
awesome.
anyway,
So what it does, just so I'm clear, so the AI, it uses AI to determine if it's a high value case based on your terms, and then it'll automatically initiate that phone call to make sure that you don't miss the lead while the lead is still hot.
yeah, exactly. That is where
Wow,
we're
that's really
going.
cool.
So a lot of this stuff, I'll be honest with you, we're about 85% there. And by the next big event in
Yeah.
December, everyone, I know I should be careful before I say this, but we're going to have this, you know, totally dialed in web chat to phone calls in a way that will take the time when someone qualified comes to your website and when they're talking to you or the right attorney on your team, and take that instead of minutes into literal seconds. Right? It can be automated. The AI will tell you, will know what's a good lead and just connect that to the right person right away. Yes.
That's awesome. And what's cool about this is that speed is the most like they've done studies, and 50% of people will hire the first vendor that they talk to. So when you have a big case, like, you need to be on them rapid fire. Like that's what I think is really exciting about this, is that when it's a case that, you know, like, this is a whale that came in, like, we get somebody on it right away. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
So
And you know, I
awesome.
usually start with this question, but I'll say it now. Has anyone here in the audience ever had a great client? They checked all the boxes. Great lead. You wanted, you know, to sign them as a client, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen, right? I'm sure I've had that happen. I'm sure everyone here has had that. So if there's a way to use technology to stop that from ever happening again, that's one of the big problems that we're looking to solve here. And yeah, you know, this is actually the global premiere of this feature on any kind of you know, a webinar. So you're all invited to learn more later. Very cool.
All right, fantastic.
Andy, you
All
want to
right,
kick
thank
off the
you,
next
Joe, for
tool?
sharing. Yeah, thank you for that. Let me go. I'm going to go into my thing, so we have enough time here. So let me share with you. So yeah, intake. So anybody that's interested in Intaker and getting that on your website, Joe, if you could drop the link in the chat, that would be awesome. All right, cool. All right, so that's the first tool. The first tool that you can use for AI to supercharge your law firm that is not ChatGPT is Intaker. The second thing I want to show you is something that is actually a pretty common tool, but I think people don't really know that it can do this thing. It's something called Grammarly. And the reason I love Grammarly is because it allows you to respond very, very quickly to emails and things like that. And this is actually something I just discovered. Now I have an executive assistant who handles all of my emails for my business stuff, but I also have a personal email, and I use Grammarly all the time so that I don't actually have to write emails. So I want to show you this with a couple of emails. So this is a solicitation email that I got right here. And basically it's somebody trying to sell me a domain for $99. Has anyone ever gotten one of these emails? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you've ever gotten one of these things where I'm going to sell you the best law firm in Los Angeles that is on a oddnumberedstreet.com. Like, so I don't really want to I don't want to deal with this. And a lot of times I would just delete this email, but I want to show you how you can respond to things. So you can hit respond. And what's cool is that down here, you're going to see Grammarly pops up right here. So you see this little light bulb right here. You can click that and that'll open Grammarly. And what's cool is that first what it does is it summarizes the email. So it says Millie is offering a domain for sale and wants you to purchase it. They expect you to act fast and buy the domain before it's too late. Millie sounds enthusiastic. So you have a couple defaults that you can, a couple prompt defaults that you can tell it how to respond. So the first thing you can do is acknowledge receipt and thank them for the offer, decline the offer and explain why, agree to purchase, and ask for payment instructions. Or I can say, decline and ask them to remove me from their list. So I hit that, and what it's going to do is it's now going to write an email. So thanks for reaching out. Unfortunately, I'm not interested in purchasing the domain at this time. Can you please remove your list from your list and not reach out to me again in the future? Insert. There it is. Up, I had it in the wrong place. So copy that. You got to put it. You got to be smarter than the software sometimes. Put it right there. Paste that in there. That email is sent, and now that's done. Right. So cool is that you can do this for quick responses for client emails. So here's one. I'm a Orlando City soccer supporter, and they're telling me about playoff tickets. So I want to find out. So this is basically telling me about the next game that's coming up. So I can say, inquire about tickets for group purchase, decline the offer for group tickets, thank the sender, and confirm understanding, right? So I'll just do that. It gives me basic information. Now, this is pretty long, right? So I don't like this. So what I want to do is I hit more, and I want to make it simplified. So I don't like it. I'm just going to have them redo it. So this is kind of, a little bit, basically just confirming the email. But like, what you can do is you can use this to make going through your emails so much easier and so much faster. And this is something that I've used Grammarly for years for writing, but I actually didn't realize that you could use it to respond to emails like this without actually putting a lot of effort in. So that's something that I'm going to be using from now on. So Grammarly is our second tool that is not ChatGPT, that is AI. So back to you, Mike.
Oh my goodness.
Or
I
Joe.
can start using
Mike,
that too.
Joe. I was talking to Mike.
That's good. Mike is in the chat.
Yeah, no, Mike is who I was emailing. Joe is who I'm talking to on here. I apologize.
What's up? What's up? I'm gonna start using that too, actually. You told me about it, but I didn't get to see a demo. So
yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
We're moving on. I know we got a lot that we want to cover and share with you guys. So I'm just gonna jump into this. Now, this next one you might have heard of, and we'll see. I'm on my LinkedIn profile. This is a tool called Crystal Knows. And what this is, it allows you to take any person, any LinkedIn profile, and do a quick psychographic analysis so that if you want to reach out to them, whether that is another attorney or other, professional service provider that you might be looking to start a relationship with for referrals, or maybe if, let's say, you are in family law or you are in, estate planning attorney, and, you're talking to high value clients where, it takes a little bit more time to really make sure you understand not just their needs, but their personality, how to communicate with them. So this is a nice tool. Let me go here and say that if I click on this bar, all I need to do is to go to someone's profile, and it's going to give you some information about their communication style, right? How to communicate with them. If we're looking to, you're talking to me about technology, legal tech software and things, you might want to mention, some of these tones and what to mention on that, but, also what not to do. There's a whole personality assessment here that if you are familiar with the DISC assessment, dominant, influential, steady, and conscientious, it kind of puts it out there and then just gives a lot of, information that, again, I was looking through, and honestly, it's pretty accurate for me. If you did want to know how to sell to me or talk to me or, persuade me in any way, this is actually so far pretty accurate. But I thought, why stop there when we could also find out something about our friend Andrew? And make sure that we can see Let's see
Let's do
here.
it. I'll
What do
tell
we
you how accurate it is.
let's what do we want to learn about our friend? All right, okay, good. So now give it a second. All right, so on the disc map, you are an initiator, visionary, charismatic, dynamic. I love it so far. So tell me if this sounds right for you, Andrew. You'd focus more on the high level rather than the details, especially on that initial conversation, and keep it focused on maybe a specific outcome. Does that sound right so far?
And actually, yeah, and I'm a high D and a high I, so so far it's nailed me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. What not to do, and then other things, does this sound like your behavior, taking big risks, elevating new
Yep.
ideas, speaking persuasively one-on-one? I'd say so. What do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely.
So yeah,
Yeah,
again,
remain
if
upbeat and
this is
positive. Use whiteboards and visual aids when possible. Yeah, that's me to a T. Yeah.
that is good. That is good. So, this isn't right for everyone, but especially if you have someone in your network that is a target, you're looking to build a relationship, whether that's a client, referral, partner, or anything else. This is a tool. There's a free version. You can pay for it if you're actually getting a lot of use out of it. And there's actually way more here. I'm not going to go into all of it, but there's just a lot of, if you were going to use this more for, your sales, and especially, okay, here's what I'd actually say. One more thing. If you were running a law firm where you're doing consultations, that could be family law, that could be estate planning, or any of those, bankruptcy too, right? Where you're talking to someone and it might not be you doing the consultation. You might have someone else doing the consultation. You can use AI to just put way more knowledge in their field of view, where they can have a much higher chance of, having a great consultation, signing them up, and just increase your sign up rate, especially if you've moved out of the consultation room, you've got other people doing it. I think that's where these tools might give even more leverage, because it's not just you that's using them. You could have your whole team. So was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Andy?
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, I used to do so. I haven't done this so much anymore, but when I was doing sales, I would always do social engineering. So what that means is that when I have somebody that I'm going to be meeting with, I would do a little bit of research on them. I go check out their Facebook profile. I go check out their LinkedIn profile. I'd see what their interests are. And having this information is very, very valuable, because then you can actually speak to them in a way that is going to be most likely to let them absorb the information. So this is super, super important. And actually, I can't believe that it got me that I'm a high D and high I, because that's my exact thing, is a D and I. So yeah, this is actually really cool. I'm actually going to start using this, especially when I'm starting to reach out to people for strategic partnerships and stuff. So this is awesome. And what is this called again?
This is called Crystal Knows, and I don't know what the name is about, but it'll be in the notes. Anyone who wants to reach out will get you everything you need.
Crystal Knows. That is awesome. Cool. Yeah,
Put it in
I'm
the
definitely
chat
going to
too.
use that. All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Let me go on to my next one, which is something I actually just discovered. So does anyone here create content? Give me a me in the chat if you create content, if you do, long form content or short form content to try to promote your law firm. Well, one of my things that I'm doing lately is I've been creating lots of content through interviews like this. I interviewed Bob Simon just recently. I interviewed Charlie Mann. I've got a lot of other interviews that are coming up very soon as well. And it's a really great way to create lots of content at once. But the question is always, how do I take this long form interview where it's an hour long or half an hour long and break it up into those YouTube short videos so I can throw them up on YouTube and Facebook and all these different places, and Instagram Reels and TikTok, and start getting people to know, like, and trust me and start watching. So I found this tool called Opus that all you do is upload a long form video and it'll create 20, 30, 40 clips from that video. And they're actually pretty good. So I want to demo this for you real quick. So this is Opus right here. And you can see I already took my interview that I did with Charlie Mann and my interview that I did with Bob Simon. These are both YouTube videos. And all I did was paste the YouTube link in here. So I click on this and then I click here. And you can see what it does is it actually breaks up. It'll load. Come on. There we go. Okay, cool. And what it'll do is it creates all these videos. So you can see this one here. This one's 34 seconds. And the cool thing is, not only does it use AI to figure out like interesting parts of the conversation, but it also adds the captions. And all you have to do is click the download button, or you can click the schedule button if you tie it to your Instagram and your TikTok and your LinkedIn and your YouTube channel, and it'll post straight from here. So this is a video. Actually, let me reshare. And hold on one second. Share screen, optimize for video, share sound. And there we go. Do you see my screen? Hey Joe, do you see my screen now?
Yeah, you look great.
Do you see the Charlie Man video here?
Unveiling the juicy, the jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
Films,
Okay,
yes.
cool. Yeah. So basically, and you click this, watch this. This is AI generated.
And I say this in like the most fun, enjoyable, you have a tabloid at your dispense way, because everyone loves stories of the law when the stories are well told. They want to hear about the weird courtroom drama. They want to hear about the criminal defense attorney who who you heard say hi to his client, and the client goes, "That's not my name," and sees the criminal defense attorney look panicked at the file that they were provided, realizing they don't have the right. Like they want to hear all the juicy gossip, and you're sitting on such an amazing resource to share both with the general population and with referral sources.
So there's so much stuff that you can do. Like, and if you look, let's see how many videos this created. This created 12 videos out of that one interview, right? And then you can download them all, and they're not all perfect. I watched these, and there's probably 9 of the 12 are usable videos that I would put on my channel that will be interesting to lawyers and get them to know, like, and trust me and watch my content and build up my brand. So it's not necessarily that you have to start creating tons and tons and tons of content. One of my favorite things to do is to do interviews with people, and then take the interviews, chop them up, and then post them as TikTok videos and reels and shorts and stuff like that. And what's awesome about this is that you don't even need a video editor. You just do the interview, you upload it, and then AI chops it up for you. So it's a super, super valuable tool that you can use to create a lot of content really quickly. It's called Opus.
So that's another one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
You've given me so many gifts, Andy. I know these are gifts for everyone, but I'm being a little greedy here. I'm going to take them too for myself.
Go ahead.
This is good. And yeah, I guess I'm curious. There's so many people here maybe getting into that game for podcasts and things like that. And it's just, I'm sure you know, Andy, it just takes time and energy to really squeeze all the juice out of that. So seeing tools that take most of the heavy lifting out of the way. I mean, I knew we were going to get there, but what you just showed is actually simpler than what I thought. All right, I got maybe one tool left, and I know I'll make this really quick, and then we'll start to wrap it up. Does that sound good for you, Andy?
Sounds perfect.
All right, cool. So let me come back in here. So this is a tool. It's called Fireflies.ai. And what this is, it helps you with your meetings. If you're doing any virtual consults, and you want to be able to have better insight into how those are going, again, whether that's you or someone else, having an AI meeting assistant tool is going to give you so much information, right? This could be especially for meetings with other attorneys, but also this is actually, Andy, we didn't even talk about this before, but this is just the quick notes from our meeting, several weeks ago, right? Yeah. So what this does is it gives you, not only will it record the meeting in full, but it gives you a whole summary of the meeting, pretty detailed, as well as action items, right? Action items based on for who needs to do what. Action items for Andy, for me, right? As well as the full outline that actually breaks it into chapters. So this is great if you, let's say that you're using this to close, new clients, and you're looking to maybe figure out what's happening, what's going wrong. If it's not you in the consultation room and you're looking to improve your close rate, it'll give you these sentiment filters as well. Now, what that does is it'll tell you, any of those areas where, language that might be negative is used versus more neutral language versus something that is, more positive. It'll show you all of that pretty broken out, as well as things like, talk times. There's actually a third person on this call with us, but so many cool AI filters, whether you want to know what are all the questions that were asked, all the tasks that were identified. If people are talking about pricing, probably shouldn't give away too much sensitive information here. However, I just wanted to show off, this is a tool we at Intaker love to use. It gives us such insight into how things are going on a level that is hard to get, from a subjective point of view. Having this, especially if you're doing any consultations virtually, highly, highly recommend. So that's just what I want to show off here. And that's my last tool. We're 1 minute over, but go ahead, Andy. I see you want to jump in.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, that's really cool. So we've used a tool called, what's the tool that we use? Fathom. But I don't think it has this level of detail, which is really cool. One thing I really like on this left where it says speakers, it actually shows the talk time and the percentage. And the reason I like this is because in sales, like especially if we're doing sales, if we're doing intake calls and things like that, always remember that he who talks the most or she who talks the most makes the least. And what that means is that when you're in sales, the client should be the one that's doing most of the talking. So you can actually learn how much you're talking, or if you're talking too much or talking too little, by looking at this. And I really, really like that, because I've never really had a way of actually seeing how much am I actually talking during my sales calls and during my consultations and everything. So that would be really cool to just for that purpose alone. But it looks like there's a lot of really cool stuff here also. So awesome. Cool. Well, these are 5 tools that you guys can use that are not ChatGPT. Now, again, if you guys want the transcript, or not the transcripts, the cheat sheets for today's webinar, where we give you all of our notes from this, then just do me a favor and type me in the chat, and we'll make sure to send it out to everybody. If you're watching the replay of this, there will be a link in the chat or in the description or somewhere that you can enter your name, your email address, and we will send it over to you. So don't worry, we will get you the AI notes from this using AI, but they do a pretty good job, right? So the last thing I want to talk to you about is a really cool event that we have coming up in December. And actually, Joe is going to be a featured speaker at that event. And he's going to be debuting some new AI stuff that I think you haven't even rolled out yet with Intaker, which is going to be really, really cool. So some more ways that you can use AI to grow your law firm. But the event is called New You, New Year 2024. And the point of this entire event is to help you have the best year in 2024 that your law firm has ever had. If you want more profits in your pocket and more free time on your calendar, who here thinks that sounds pretty good? You want to bring home more money and have more free time to spend with your family, go on vacation, or do whatever you want. Does that sound pretty good? Give me some me's in the chat if that sounds like something that you'd be pretty interested in doing, right? I see Patrick. Patrick's the only one. Patrick's the only one that wants more profits and more free time in his calendar. So here's the deal, guys. All right, Victoria, Ted. All right, now we got some people that are paying attention. So what we've discovered is that growing a law firm that gives you more freedom and more profit, it's actually only about 4 things, right? Like, we try to make it complicated, we try to overcomplicate it, but it really comes down to 4 things. The first thing is leads. You have to have a predictable source of leads that reliably produce leads, lead after lead after lead after lead. Because if you don't have leads, then you can't do anything. Running a law firm without leads is kind of like driving a car without gasoline. It doesn't work very well, right? Actually, it doesn't work at all. You're not going anywhere. So you have to have a reliable source of leads. So at this event, we're going to show you a lot of different ways that you can generate leads for your law firm without breaking the bank, that will work, time and time again. It's not gimmicks. It's actually stuff that is like sound marketing principles that will bring people to you, that will grow your law firm. The second thing that you need after leads is intake, which we've been talking about today, because the reality is, if you have lots of leads, but you don't have any way to turn those leads into clients, then the leads are pretty much pointless, right? We've had clients that have gotten 300 leads before and not a single client out of it because they didn't have an intake system in place, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you not only how to generate the leads, but we're going to show you how to create a flawless intake system that turns those leads into clients, reliably and predictably. Now, the next problem after you get leads and intake is that you're going to have a lot of work, right? Because you got more leads, you got all these clients now, somebody's got to do the work. And the problem is that somebody usually ends up being you, right? So then you get all these clients, more clients leads to more work, which means now you're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. That's no good. That's not going to give you freedom, right? So you have to have a self-managing team. You have to have a team of rock star employees who follow systems and procedures that you put in place that are held accountable to KPIs. And what this does is this guarantees that you have a law firm that runs like a well-oiled machine, that is run exactly how you want it to be run by your standards, and actually delivers amazing results for your clients. And you do this with rock star employees. Now, a lot of times I talk to lawyers and they say, I can't hire anybody. It's so hard to hire people. Well, that's not actually true. If you follow the strategies that we show you on how to hire people, then you'll be able to hire amazing employees. And we're going to show you how to do that as well. So you have leads, you have intake, and you have amazing employees. You have a rock star team of employees that does the work for you. Now, once you do all that, the final piece of this, the final piece to growing a law firm that gives you more profit in your pocket and more freedom on your calendar is profits. You have to make sure that you're making a good profit, because if your income goes up, but then your expenses go up also, well, that doesn't really do a whole lot for you, right? Because now you're just treading water. So what you want to do is figure out, how do I optimize everything? So my revenue's going up and my expenses, yeah, they're going to go up a little bit, but they're not going to go up as much. And that's where all the profit is. So we're going to show you how to do that as well. So if you want to make 2024 the most amazing year ever, you got to have leads, you got to have intake, you got to have a self-managing team of rock stars, and you have to make a profit. And we're going to show you how to do all 4 of those things using a framework that we call the Law Firm Growth Accelerator Framework. And it's a 3-day event. People come to these events and it absolutely changes their lives. So tickets are only $1 right now. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be teaching at the event. We've got tons of speakers, tons of lawyers just like you. Joe's going to be there teaching some amazing intake stuff. Ed Milet is going to be there. For anyone who knows Ed Milet, Ed Milet is a really inspirational figure. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And tickets are only $1. So if you want to have the best year of your life in 2024, have more free time, have more money, and change your family's life, then you got to attend this event. So that's my pitch for New Year 2024. Do not miss it. I hope you guys enjoyed this webinar. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much, Joe, for all these AI insights. And we will talk to you guys soon. The link to get your ticket is in the chat, guys.
Please
all right,
come.
Allison has already signed up. What did you say, Joe?
I said, please come, everybody. You're not going to regret it. And,
yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Andy and Bill, there's going to be so many people there. A lot of other attorneys too, sharing, their stories and their lessons to take you, what might have taken them 10 years, give you maybe even just part of that in 10 minutes, and maybe change one small thing that could lead to a lot bigger growth down the road.
That's true. They say that smart people learn from their own mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So make sure that you're wise. Come learn from the mistakes of all these other people so that you can use them and grow your law firm. So thank you, guys. We will talk to you soon.
Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama knew I was a needle in a haystack. Up a body boy, plus way back. I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling. Yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah.
The mountains top, walk on water. I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mile. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah.